I don't know how it came across on TV, but the live crowd when the Bloodline came out went nuts in a negative way, but they went nuts, and you could feel the emotion from the fans there that they didn't know what was going to happen. Like Teddy said, this didn't hurt Jey Uso at all because it was a screw job finish.
Let me bring up something today. Big day as we record right now. This is the day of his birthday, Mr. Bill Apter. Happy birthday, Bill!
Thank you, thank you. Teddy Long sent me. Teddy Long sent me a whole new pack of Tick Crack.
Oh, great!
No, I didn't send you that.
Thank you, Teddy.
I didn't send you that because if you OD or something and they find you OD, then they gonna come looking for me. I didn't send you that.
All right.
Hey,
okay.
Bill, you need to hold up your Teddy Long action figure.
Oh,
do you have one?
Yeah, right here.
Of course he does.
But again, congratulations and happy birthday, Bill. Was it 79? Is that right? 79?
Yeah. Yes. Unless you're, if you look at things backwards, I would be 97.
Okay, well, 97, Crypt Keeper. Yeah, I
but
get
you know what? Again, it's a number. I feel the same way I did when I was younger. And I'm going to put this message out to people who are my age and younger and all that, that I'm never going to retire, because I find that when people retire, they start relaxing, and you as bad as my brain is, it stays alive because of doing things wonderful with people like you two, and it stimulates the brain, and
Yes.
it's just good for you. Don't retire. Don't retire.
It's funny you said that, because my wife and I were just talking about that when we were eating dinner. I told her, she said, how long are you going to do the kind of stuff you're doing now and podcasting and stuff? And I said, there's no reason to stop. This is one of the few things I can do as I get older that I can still do and enjoy to do. Be able to sit down to talk with Teddy and Bill on a weekly basis. Are you kidding me? Man, I can get all kinds of great knowledge. Plus, I talk to these guys in between the shows as well.
Argue with Vince Russo.
Or argue with Vince Russo, which I did on Bro Down just this past week. You have to pull that up and watch that. But I questioned Russo, as I told you I would do, about his comments about the belt being a prop, and also about the emotion attached to winning certain titles at times. And pull that up. I think it'll be interesting for you. It's on Sportskeeda.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
But right now, let's talk about Raw. After just 2 to 3 weeks of holding the WWE Intercontinental Championship, Jey Uso lost his championship to Bron Breakker. Now, of course, the new Bloodline came ringside during the match, and what looks like they were trying to help Jey, but instead he attacked them first, which then we gave us a stare down between Jacob Fatu and Bron Breakker, which the crowd really seemed to enjoy that face-off. And after which Jacob Fatu attacks Jey and cost him his title, just on the most recent episode of Raw. Teddy, I know you saw this because I talked to you earlier today. What did you think about this match?
Well, I always take time and watch Jey Uso and Bron Breakker. They're two great athletes. Their timing, everything is just perfect, and I just enjoy watching them work. These two guys are phenomenal. I thought the match was great, and the way that they took the title, I think, it was believable, because you take a guy and you do 3 or 4 things to him on the outside. You know what I mean? You pretty much, got him, tired out and, beat up. So, the way that they done that, Uso, he was beat up, he just couldn't take it no more. And then Breakker hits him with that big spear, and that's it, the 1, 2, 3. So I think it protected him, didn't hurt him none whatsoever. But I thought some of the stuff that they did on the outside was just a little bit too, it kind of drew that out. It's a little bit too long, overkill.
Yeah.
Is what we say. And, like I said, it was good stuff. Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong, but I thought it just went a little bit too long.
Yeah, sometimes you hear this comment all the time, but people say less is more. And I agree. Yeah. When we talked earlier today, I thought the same thing. Less is more in that situation, because it becomes too common to see, first of all, Bloodline hanging around ringside. Everybody's out there on every show. It needs to have a little bit of a change to it. And some of that needs to be, like you say, less is more. And you don't need to do as much as they did. Bill, what were your thoughts about the match?
I was in the arena live
Yeah.
for that show. And I have to tell you something. I'm going to disagree with you about the less being more, because I don't know how it came across on TV, but the live crowd, when the Bloodline came out, went nuts in a negative way, but they went nuts. And you could feel the emotion from the fans there, that they didn't know what was going to happen. Like Teddy said, this didn't hurt Jey Uso at all, because it was a screw job finish. Bron Breakker, in the few weeks that he has not held the belt, I've seen an interview improvement in him, which is making the heel side of him even more and more believable and dangerous. I predict that he's going to be one of the top heels in WWE after a while. Not right, but this is the great building process. And I think putting the belt on him is great. But now you have two guys, Jacob Fatu, who is a maniac in the ring, and Bron Breakker, who's that unpredictable kind of maniacal type as well. Yeah. And you could tell the tension between the two of them, and it's going to be heel versus heel. But I think the fans are going to support Bron Breakker.
I was impressed with it. Just like Teddy said, I just thought it went a little long in the end, where they could have shortened things up to make it a little bit better. But outside of that, I thought it was fine. To me, though, I would like to see a little bit less of the Bloodline every match, because that seems to be something they do on both Raw and SmackDown, where they have them ringside, all of them sitting out there every time there's a match. And it just seems like sooner or later, give us a match where it's just the two opponents going at it, and figure out a way to get through that match without any interference from the outside.
They're building up the fever. They're building up fever for November's Survivor Series. Yeah. So they've got the Bloodline making themselves more and more dangerous without anybody being able to stop them.
And also, you've got to think about the Royal Rumbles coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me ask you, there was something that came up. It looks like, now we know Gunther has several people coming after him, including Damian Priest, who kind of made it clear that he's going to work his way back up and he's going to come after Gunther. But we also find out that Dominik believes he can beat Gunther. And that seems to be one of his upcoming opponents. First of all, you got, again, heel versus heel. Who are we supposed to cheer for in this case, Bill?
Gunther.
Why Gunther?
We're talking about Dominik Mysterio.
Yes.
Gunther.
So does Gunther for the night then, Bill, become the face of that match, kind of?
I think Gunther has a mixed bag audience. Mm-hmm. A lot of people like that he's a serious type of heel without a real outlandish gimmick. And I think that goes over really very well. He comes across like a wrestler. Yep. Even though he makes insults and stuff like this, people look at him as a real athlete and wrestler, and they look at Dominik as this pain in the ass that they want to just get rid of.
Teddy, what do you think we're going to see in this match between these two when that happens?
Well, just like Bill was explaining it to you, Gunther will certainly be the heel. Well, not so much as the heel. The crowd will cheer for him, but that's not going to change him. You know what I mean? But they'll want to see him, because I think Gunther is more believable than Dominik.
Yeah. Now, Gunther to me is probably one of the more believable characters in WWE, and he again is the number one opponent for me to see go up against Brock Lesnar, and I'm hoping that eventually we get down the line where that match happens, because I believe that will cement Gunther into WWE with that one match if they do it correctly.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's already cemented in WWE. That's going to be a tough match to call, but if I had to pick who was going to win that one, it's going to be Gunther, because of everything they put into him. Brock Lesnar doesn't have to get a win to stay as the Beast Incarnate.
I agree. Totally agree.